Hello and welcome to Abrar Rashid Official. In what seems to be a shocking move, British naval chief was sacked from service over the charges of having extramarital affair with none other than his own subordinate, who is reported to be a married lady. What happened? I will delve on this issue in detail, but it is quite saddening, quite shameful for British Royal Navy that its naval chief was found guilty of having extramarital affair, and on top of that, the same officer was investigating or had investigated sexual abuse charges against some of the female submarine officers who alleged that some of their seniors were sexually assaulting them or sexually harassing them. This disgraced naval chief, now it's a former naval chief, his name is Sir Ben Key, and he was suspended from his service in May this year, on May 9th to be precise. Someone who was husband of a naval officer, naval female officer, he lodged a complaint with, I don't know, British Armed Forces or Royal Navy. He lodged a complaint that naval chief was having an extramarital affair with his wife. It was investigated and finally he was sacked. Ben Key, as I said, he was admiral and he had been suspended while claims of his relationship were investigated by senior officers. The first Sea Lord is one of the highest ranking military officers to be dismissed from the country's armed forces for inappropriate behavior. It didn't say that he was charged with sexual misconduct or sexual behavior, whatever, sexual abuse. The married father of three, who was previously entrusted with leading investigations, as I said earlier, into sexual abuse within the Royal Navy, has also been stripped of his, I don't know, ranks and his commission. It emerged in May, last month, that his behavior was investigated after the officer's non serving husband learned of his wife's behavior and complained formally to the Ministry of Defense. The subsequent inquiry looked into whether Sir Ben affair breached strict regulations barring sexual relations between commanders and those in their chain of command. Sir Ben, who is understood to be practicing Christian, had been considered a candidate to lead the armed forces. Last night, he said, serving as First Sea Lord has been one of the greatest privileges of my life, and I pay tribute to the dedicated and professional officers, sailors, Royal Marines, and civil servants who make up the Royal Navy. I deeply regret, he said, my conduct in the spring of last year, which fell well below the standard I set for myself and that which I set for the Royal Navy. As such, I fully accept the decision of the Defense Council. I am very, very sorry to those I have hurt personally, and I apologize to everyone who serves with the Royal Navy. Finally, I am grateful for the support of my wife, family, and friends during a very difficult time. When Sir Ben stepped back from overseeing operations in May this year, the Ministry of Defense said it was due to personal reasons, a phrase that usually refers to private matters that attach no blame to the person who is withdrawing from their role. However, it Its use in Sir Ben's case led to accusations that Ministry of Defense was attempting to downplay coverage to prevent reputational. The Mail's front page on May 10 read, "Damage Sir Ben joined Navy in 1984 as a university cadet. He qualified as a helicopter air crew and principal warfare officer. He also commanded 4 warships before being appointed First Sea Lord. Despite his dismissal, he is expected to retain his knighthood and pension. His replacement is General Sir Quine Jenkins, the first Royal Marines officer to attain the rank." So, this is the story of British Royal Naval Chief who was sacked, like I said, for having extramarital affair with his own subordinate who was a married lady, and her husband complained to the Ministry of Defense. The Ministry of Defense investigated the matter and found him guilty and gave its verdict. It's, I think, like the report I read, it says that it is the first time in the history of a British Royal Navy that such officer of such a high rank has been dismissed from service on inappropriate behavior charges. And I don't know how to explain it, whether it was inappropriate, whether it was sinful, if he was a practicing Christian, whether it was immoral. I don't know how to describe it. It's up to the viewers, but it is definitely a shame that he, Sir Ben Key, brought to his organization, his force, and to his country. Thank you very much for watching, and I would request you to subscribe to my channel, like it, share it, and leave your comment.